Can you take me higher to a place where Buzz Pucks plays? Welcome
not
back.
bad.
Welcome
It's
back
not
to
bad.
Buzz Pucks. I debated you. I basically told Clay I was going to sing something else.
You gotta.
I got you.
These are always a surprise to me.
Yeah, I like to keep it that way.
Every single one's a
You
surprise.
never know what I'm going to do.
No idea.
And that one time I made you have an existential crisis about, what was it?
Welcome
to the Black Parade, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome to Buzz Pucks, where I sing beautifully every week. And I'm Bert,
And I'm Clay.
and we're here to talk to you about Week 10
Week 10.
of the NHL season. And we're technically doing this, just so you guys know, a day early.
Yep.
Because Clay and I each have an engagement tomorrow that we are not going to miss.
Woo! I spiked it. My bad, guys.
It's okay. You guys are fine. So we will not be talking about the Sunday games, but obviously we're talking about everything else this week. That's it, really.
Yep.
And then, we're actually drinking 2 different beers this week. Clay, what are you drinking
So
first?
we're drinking the beers that we got for each other when I was sick, those 2 times.
Both times,
So Bert's drinking the Southern Tier Old Man Winter, the Winter Ale, and I'm drinking the Christmas Ale from Breckenridge.
That
Yummy,
tastes
yummy.
different than I thought it was going to.
It's all great.
Don't know that I love that, but...
It's 7.5, so
Hey, that's
makes
fine.
up for it.
We're in my condo, so I'm not going anywhere. Do you want to start or do you want me to start? I don't remember
I'm gonna
who
start.
started last
My
week.
turn.
All right, go for it.
All right, we're going to start about the East in the Atlantic.
Atlantic.
We're going worst to first again. But actually, that changed up a little bit after I made the outline. So,
Of course it did.
of course,
Yeah, because why would it stay the same?
last week it did.
Oh,
And it
well,
did for the
that's fair,
Pacific.
yeah.
But not the Atlantic. Actually, talking about the Atlantic, these teams are absolutely cannibalizing each other.
You love to see it.
Because
if you're a Metro team, you love to see it.
you have those top 3. You have Boston, Toronto, Tampa.
Pretty strong top 3.
Far and away.
Yeah.
Now,
Especially Boston.
The bottom 5, teams, all within 4 points of each other.
Yikes, and Florida's in there too.
Yeah, they have 32.
Yeah, they're pretty close in as the wild card goes.
No,
but
they have 34. Detroit has
is that
32. Because Florida passed Detroit
I guess I got
this
pull up
week.
the standings.
Yeah, Florida
Oh, you
passed
start.
Detroit this week. So they have 34 points. Buffalo has 32. Detroit has 32.
Man, they would have so much more if Buffalo didn't lose like 8 games in a row.
8 games straight.
Yeah.
Well, since that 8 games,
been better.
they've been actually playing like they were in October.
Good.
So literally, November Buffalo is the worst.
So weird.
And yeah, Ottawa and Montreal are both tied for 30 points.
All right.
So
Those are the ground dwellers.
right now, Montreal is last, but we're going to talk about Ottawa first. All right. So Ottawa went 3-0 this week.
Hell yeah.
They started the week by shutting out Anaheim 3-0. Then they beat Montreal. Then they 3-2, and then they beat Detroit 3-6. Talk about that cannibalizing.
Yeah.
Their power play was 7 for 16 in those 3 games.
I was just fixing your mic there.
Eh.
I don't know if it really made a difference.
7 for 16.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow, nearly 50%. That's 16 power plays too. Wow.
DeBrincat is their top points getter with 2 goals and 6 assists.
Finally.
Yeah.
For him.
And
I know he just got there this season. It takes some time.
Batherson was right there with
Stop doing
Never.
that. Stop doing that.
Batherson was right there with 7 points. So like those guys went off this week. And for penalty kill, with the adjusted, they were 14 for 13.
I have a couple teams like that too. I love that Quan Hockey does
Yeah.
that.
They were
Shout out to Quan Hockey as always.
14 for 13.
They got a shorty.
No, they got 2, but they
Oh,
let
they
in
got 2?
They
Nice.
let in one power play goal, and then they got 2 short.
Hey, it's okay.
Yeah.
Quan Hockey says you're over 100%.
And that's what you want.
Congratulations. Wish they would just. That's how they just track the stat. overall.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And like at the end of the year, it was like, oh, Boston has 101 power penalty kill.
Oh man, with Bergeron, it's probably not.
It's feasible.
With Bergeron
Yeah.
and Marchand on that team,
It's feasible.
yes. Yeah. So Ottawa is playing like everyone played this week, like everyone thought they were going to at the start
Or
of the
was
season.
hoping they were going to at least.
But they are 14-14-2 at this point.
Not terrible. They're getting back closer to 500.
Yep. I think everyone is in the Atlantic is 500 points wise.
Okay.
500 or better.
Let's look. Shall we? Yes, of course they are. No, it says Ottawa. Oh, that's probably counting the game today. It says Montreal is 0.48.
But is that including the points?
Yes, that's points percentage.
Oh, okay, there we are.
So, almost at 50%. Almost at 50%.
That might have been us. That stat might have been also before Montreal's lost to Tampa.
Yeah.
Which they did last night.
Very close. All the teams are very close to being
Right.
over 500 points wise.
Which is, again, insane and good for the Metro when it comes to wild card.
Well, not for the two teams that suck in the Metro, but for everybody else.
All right, so that is Ottawa's week. Next up is Montreal. That's why they're in last now. It's 1-3.
Hell yeah.
But 14-15-2.
Get
so
that
the
Connor Bedard.
exact same points as Ottawa. They started the week by beating Calgary in a shootout.
Nice.
Then they lost to Ottawa, and then they lost to Anaheim, and then they lost to Tampa Bay.
Less shameful.
Less shameful.
Anaheim's maybe the only team that I would be like, they're definitely the worst team in the league.
Well, they lost 2-5.
To Anaheim?
Yes. Two of them were empty nets.
Oh, okay. So it's closer than that.
It was closer than that. Cole Caulfield had 2 goals in that game.
I love when one guy is like, he's like, come on. I scored all the goals tonight.
I am going to mention their special teams just because 1 for 17 on the power play.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Oof.
And then 15 for 21 on the penalty kill.
Oh, my God. Jesus. First of all, how many games do they have? 4?
4, yes.
God, they're averaging over 5 penalties a game.
It was 6, 7, 2, and 6.
At least there was that 2.
There was that 2.
There was that 2.
And
yeah.
we're 1 for 2 on that.
Oh, come on. Ay.
Yeah, they don't get a top player.
Yeah. Hey, they won that one game.
You won that one?
They won one game.
It is shootout.
Still a win,
Yeah.
technically. Until you get to tiebreakers, and then it counts for less.
Yep. Buffalo.
Back
to playing like October Buffalo.
Hell yeah. Bring it, Buffalo. Come on.
3-0 this week.
Nice.
15, 14, and 2. So
Still technically under 500. But...
So 2 points more than them.
Oh, yeah.
Kicking the crap out of the Kings to start the week. 6-0.
Wow.
I watched that game, or at least the first 2 periods of that game.
Mm.
All 6 goals were in the third period.
What?
Because I went to bed, and it was a very close, back and forth, 0-0 game.
Just kidding.
I woke up
Buffalo
and
won
it's like,
6-0.
what happened?
Woof.
Yeah.
Jeez, oh man, what a collapse.
Tage Thompson had 2 goals and an assist in that game.
He's a bad man.
He's a bad, bad man. Then they beat Colorado at Colorado.
It's impressive.
Yep.
Even with all the injuries, that's still impressive.
Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen
Love it. Love that name.
was 39 for 41 in that
good.
game. Thompson was 1 goal, 1 assist. And then they finished the week by beating Arizona 5-2.
As they should.
Anderson won 2 of the 3 games, putting up a 9-7 save percentage. And saving math.
Math song. Clay is doing addition.
70.
Maybe some subtraction. 70.
Oh, sorry, 69 of 71 shots. Nice. And Jeff Skinner scored 2 goals and an assist in that Arizona game. Excuse me. Their power play was 6 for 13.
Good Lord. Some big power play numbers to
Pound Gill was
start off.
solid. Thompson, Tage, top player.
Tage.
4 goals, 4 assists in those 3 games.
Yeah, damn. What is he, second in goal scoring so far this season? He's up there. He's in the top 5.
If he's not if he's not first, he's in second.
I think first is still Robertson. I might be wrong. But because Robertson has assists, but not that many goals this week, if I remember correctly. Maybe Tage overtook him.
Remember,
he did have 5 goals in that one game last week.
8 years, $7 million.
Yeah, that's a deal and a half right there. Damn. Especially if they can, because they have Tage Thompson, they have Power and Darlene.
Yep.
On defense, they also have Tuck as well.
Krebs, they're waiting for him to take that.
Next step. Peyton Krebs. He is up with Buffalo, but he he's still young.
Yeah, they're all young.
And then on top of that, I had somebody. They have Jeff Skinner too.
Casey Middlestat.
It's just like Buffalo is playing better. Maybe they will make the playoffs this year. It's not out of the realm of possibilities. They got some work to do though.
Goalie wise, it's their
goalie is the biggest issue there, and defense outside of Darlene and Power.
Yes.
That's their biggest issue. They might just miss the playoffs this year, but they're going to be one of those teams that'll siphon points off of teams.
Samuelson.
That's the other defenseman. Yeah. I was like, there's a third young defenseman too.
Samuelson. Who signed a big deal recently for them.
Yeah, it was like 4 or 5 years or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And they have room to add too. So
I think not this year, but next year. Buffalo will be where the Devils were like the past 2 years. Like a goalie away from competing.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. I mean, maybe they can. I mean, the goalie market this coming off season, unless trades or something happen, I don't think is very good.
No.
But maybe they'll have the assets. Maybe they can swing for like a John Gibson or something like that. So
Luukkonen
could take a step forward.
Exactly.
Too.
Luukkonen's like
Luukkonen's
20.
young. Craig Anderson is not. He is only going to take steps back.
Yeah.
But Luukkonen's only 20 or 21 or something. Maybe he'll solidify for the rest of the year, and maybe they'll steal a wild card or a.
He wasn't supposed to play this year. They
intended
to keep him growing in the AHL. So he's still getting time.
It's I think a bright future for Buffalo. Let's hope that it
finally be doing it right.
Let's hope that it keeps on track and the owners don't meddle or mess it up. They have the bills to pay attention to.
Exactly.
More. Please. Leave the Sabres alone. They're doing good.
Yeah, 6 goals in the third period.
That's insane.
To blow them out.
So crazy.
It's insane. Florida. I forgot to look at reverse retros. Damn. I knew I missed something.
It's okay. It's okay, baby. It's okay.
Dang. 2-1 this week.
That's better.
Yeah. They started the week by playing Columbus, so that's always a good start, shutting them out.
I was going to say, I thought Columbus won a game this week. They did not. Anyway.
Then they had Pittsburgh come into their house and lost to them, 2-4.
They did.
And then they finished the week by beating New Jersey.
Yes, they did.
That was a Pyrrhic victory because they lost Barkov.
Pyrrhic.
Damn it. I was stuck between the two.
In your defense, that word does look like it should be said Pyrrhic because Pyre is spelled P-Y-E-R, and then Pyrrhic is what P-Y. I'm bad at spelling, but I know it's Pyrrhic. But it looks like it, so. In your defense,
I haven't used that word in a decade.
It's a fun word. It's a nice vocab word.
Yeah,
you pepper it in. Sometimes people will be like, "Wow, he's
flavor.
Smart," and you're like, "I know a couple of words."
Yeah, don't know how to say them right, but I can use them in a sentence.
But if those people don't know what that word means, they don't know that you said it wrong.
There it is.
But you're sitting across from me.
But Bert's here to correct me.
I'll always be here to correct you, buddy.
Thanks, bud. Gotta keep my spirits low.
Gotta keep you on your toes.
15, 13, and 4 on the season so far. Not as what they were expecting.
No, they've taken a weird step back from last year.
Sam Reinhart is their top player this week with 4 goals and 2 assists.
Nice. Oh, fun fact, just really quick. I don't remember what game it was. Oh, I think it was the New Jersey game. I started writing Reinhardt's statistics for New Jersey for like no particular reason.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, that's not the team I'm supposed to be
No,
writing
no.
about.
I wasn't paying attention, and I wrote that Grubauer and Jones played for Tampa Bay, and Vasilevsky played for Seattle.
Whoa, that's a crazy trade,
It's
man.
a crazy trade. Like 2-for-1
I
goalies.
can't believe that trade happened.
Ah,
It's insane.
I'm just like going back for the other days, like, this is wrong.
Oh, that's wrong.
So that's what I got for Florida. Detroit fell back in the Atlantic standings because they went 0-3 this week.
That's a big old fart noise of a week for them.
They lost 1-0 to Carolina. No shame there.
No. It's a close game.
They lost 4-1 to Minnesota, and then they lost 3-6 to Ottawa. So basically, since Ottawa had a good power play,
Yeah.
Detroit
did not have a good penalty kill.
6 for 11. It wasn't good outside the Detroit game, but
Man, yeah. There's a lot of there was a lot of power play goals this week. Several of my games had 2+ power play goals for each team.
oh, I forgot. Someone had a penalty goal in here, but that's not counted as like a power play or anything like
A
that.
penalty shot.
Yeah, penalty shot.
Ooh, those are always fun.
I think New Jersey did on Florida.
Was it New Jersey?
I feel like New Jersey had a penalty shot.
Because I didn't point. Oh, look, hold on. If you think it's that game, I'll pull that up.
I think it's that game.
Keep going. I'll pull it up.
Yeah, they are missing some guys. They're missing Vrana. They're missing
Right, but
Bertuzzi.
if I remember correctly, Vrana was cleared from.
We're getting there.
Oh, okay. Okay, sorry.
He's in the news.
Gotcha. Sorry about that.
But as like offensive power, that they're
Yeah. They're missing some guys.
A lot of their defenders are kind of taking a step back. Like Cedar is not being Cedar.
Well, yeah,
like
some things are like. It's not listed as a penalty shot. Sorry, we'll figure it out. I don't know. Stuff with young defensemen, it's like sometimes it can be outside influences or just the team in general, like cohesively isn't playing as well, so they're just not flourishing as much.
They're not like Buffalo last year was losing, but it seemed like they were having a good time. This is not necessarily the case.
Right.
So it's a shame. They started strong, just like last year. We'll see where they end up. All right, moving on to Tampa Bay. 3-0.
God damn.
For 29-1 on the season. They started by stomping Seattle 6-2. We got flipped to Seattle to see what Vasilevsky did. He went 36 for 38.
Sorry, real quick, shout out Hockey Reference for just having a page about penalty shots per season.
Beautiful.
The most recent one was Stefan Newson of Carolina against Seattle. And
That's what it was. It was a red team.
Yeah. And actually, Marcus Johansson scored one against Winnipeg last week, too. I didn't even realize that.
I didn't either.
That was apparently a penalty shot goal.
Huh.
Sorry, go ahead.
Against who?
Winnipeg.
Oh, okay.
It was their last game last week.
Right? So Vasilevsky went 36 for 38. Both teams had shorthanded goals in this game, which is just fun.
That's fun.
Kucherov had 3 assists. Then they played Columbus and beat them 4-1.
Yeah.
Elliott got his win, going 960%.
Yeah, he only lit up 1 goal.
Yep, he did very well. Hagel had 2 goals and an assist. And then they finished by stomping Montreal, like I said earlier. 22 for 23 for Vasilevsky. Hagel had 2 goals and an assist again.
Boy, that Hagel trade is looking pretty good.
It is.
I know they gave up 2 firsts and something else for him, but he's signed through at least next year, and I think the year after, at like $2 million or something like that.
Kucherov is their top player, I will say, but it's Kucherov. I think he had 1 goal and 7 assists.
Hey, that's great.
But Brandon Hagel is going to be that shout out with 4 goals and 3 assists.
That's really good.
In these 3 games.
Difference maker. I mean, Kucherov had the most points, but did he, how many of those are like secondary assists,
Right. And Hagel's were, I think a lot of them were either the game winner or that eventual game winning goal.
Game winner, yeah.
And then adding on to it. So
Nice.
he had a really good week.
He's good. The Chicago fans should be mad that they traded him. I know you got 2 first-round picks out of it, but still.
But what did they use him on?
He's like 23.
Yeah.
But what did they use him on? Guys that aren't helping the Chicago right now.
Toronto. 1-2 this week.
Yeah.
They're 19-7-6.
Hey, that's fine.
They
Off week for them.
started
It's okay.
by absolutely bodying Anaheim.
Yeah, well, it's Anaheim.
Yeah, they scored a touchdown on them
Hey.
to nothing.
I didn't realize it was to nothing.
Yeah.
Wow, you have a 7-0 game and a 6-0 game.
Yeah.
Technically, the 6-0 game is also a touchdown.
Yes. But
This isn't a football podcast.
Toronto kicked the extra point.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
true.
Kerfoot had 2 goals in that game.
God, 7-0.
Then the Rangers stopped Mitch Marner's point streak
did they?
at 23 when they lost 1-3.
It was going to end eventually.
He was, and then they lost to Washington to finish the week.
Yes, they did.
Murray was in net for the Rangers game, and Samsonov was in net for the Washington game.
Of course, he has to play against this whole team.
It worked. It worked for the Devils and Vanacek.
That's true.
Yeah.
Not this week for them.
Samsonov let in, I would say, 1, maybe 2 kind of soft goals.
Oh yeah.
But there were some cross seam passes that
I mean, that's not on him.
how are those passes going through?
Yeah. Sometimes you can, if you watch replays, you can be like, that was not a goal that should have gone in. And then other times you're like, there was absolutely no way he was going to stop that puck. Yeah. And if he did, it would have been an insane save.
Exactly. So they lost 2 of their games, but Connor Timmins had 5 assists in this game.
Welcome to Toronto.
So he
Had a
had
good
a
week.
very good week,
Oh, Ruth's joining the pod.
except for when he got put into the Capitals bench.
No, he did, yeah. What do you have to say, Ruth? Did you guys hear her smack her lips there?
Hi.
I really wish you would just burp into the mic. That'd be so funny.
I'd claim it.
If she just climbed up in your lap and was like, brr.
All right, Boston is last for the Atlantic, going 2-0-1. Still undefeated in regulation at home.
Yeah.
24-4-2.
Can't wait for them to
And-
lose the first round.
And after the Columbus game, the last game this week, their coach said he didn't like how the team was playing.
Oh, shut up. Shut up. You're 24-4-1. Shut up.
So they started the week by beating the Islanders in a shootout. Then they lost to the Kings in a shootout.
That's kind of shameful. No, the Kings aren't that bad.
Kings are third.
Yeah, the Kings are
No,
okay.
Kings are second in the division. And then they beat Columbus in regulation. They were 11 for 14 on the penalty kill.
Ooh.
That's bad for
Yeah,
them.
that's pretty bad for them. That's not bad overall.
And a very solid power play.
Stop doing that. Stop.
Taylor
Sorry.
Hall had 2 goals and an assist. 2 goals and 2 assists. And then Pasternak had a goal and 3 assists for those 2 top points getters. Pasta also got the game-winning shootout goal against the Islanders.
Right on.
And those are the games.
Pasta.
News. And injuries. Mainly injuries. So, for Buffalo, Bryson on defense is day-to-day with a lower body. He missed the last 2 games and is questionable for tomorrow's game. And then Owen Power is on defense has missed. He's day-to-day. He's missed the last two, also with a lower body injury.
That's pretty bad.
And also questionable going forward.
Ripping through that Buffalo defense right now.
Detroit, Robert Hagg?
Yeah.
On defense as well. He is on the IR for an undisclosed injury. And Jacob Vrana is back to practice. Yeah. He left the player assistance program.
That's great.
For
hopefully whatever
they still have like a checkup thing.
Of course, yeah.
Going on, but
I'm sure they check up for a while.
He's back in practice with a non-contact injury.
That's good. I hope whatever is the issue there, I hope he is getting the help that he needs.
All right, to Florida. Barkov is right now. I'm going to list his day-to-day with a lower body. Basically, his left knee.
That happened in the Devils game.
Happened in the Devils game, which happened yesterday.
Yeah.
So they haven't announced really anything. He left that game, did not come back. It was in a face-off.
I think it was Hughes.
No, it was Nico.
Oh, is he sure?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I remember I watched the replay and I was like, I don't know if this is. I don't think it's dirty, but I can't really tell.
It's basically,
but like he was looking to push off of Barkov, but he accidentally went too low and pushed off right into his knee.
Right. It's
kind of hyperextended a little bit. It looked like
it's a move that happens all the time in face-offs. It's a super common move.
It was just unfortunate. It hit his knee.
Yeah, he got his knee.
I don't think it was dirty.
No, it wasn't.
I don't think it was intentional.
No,
let's say that
it wasn't intentional at all. But he ended up hurt, did not come back.
Yeah, unfortunate.
Chris Tierney. Colin Tierney?
Chris Tierney.
Yeah. And then there's is it Chris White?
Colin White.
Yeah, that's what messed me up. All right, Chris Tierney is indefinite on the 12 to 13 on the game on the 13th, which was against
Is he still in
Columbus?
Ottawa? He's still in Ottawa?
Florida.
He's on Florida now.
We're on Florida.
Okay.
He got a concussion in the Columbus game and hasn't played since. He's out indefinitely. Colin White, day-to-day with an upper body. He has missed the last two games as well. Moving on to Montreal, Sean Monahan is now officially on the IR with the foot injury. Last week it was day-to-day.
Gotcha.
He's expected to miss 2 to 3 weeks. He's already missed one. He's already missed 1 week.
Bad. I guess that's not too bad.
He's already missed 1 week.
Could be worse.
For Ottawa, Oli Mata is day-to-day with an upper body. He has... Nope, not Oli Mata. Tyler Mott. Yeah, Tyler Mott. Day-to-day, upper body.
That is a player.
He missed a game.
Okay.
Who plays for Ottawa. Oli Mata plays for, Detroit.
I think he's on Detroit now,
yeah.
Journeyman defenseman. Stanley Cup champion with the Penguins. Got drunk and passed out on a balcony, and there's a picture of it online somewhere.
Yeah, shirtless, yeah.
It was like they put their little brother outside while they continued drinking. Such a funny picture.
He missed a game during the week, but played the most recent game, so he seems to be good.
So he's okay.
But Tim Stützle with a shoulder injury.
Oh, that's
another center on Ottawa with a shoulder injury. 2 to 3 weeks. So it wasn't as bad as actually expected. Josh Norris is back at practice. He might actually play this week.
That's good. I hope they don't rush him back. I always hope that teams don't rush guys back too fast from injuries because that can make it worse. But if he's fine to go, he's fine to go.
But Pinto, Norris, and Stützle have all had shoulder injuries.
I forgot Stützle was they turned him into a center. I'm pretty sure he came into the league as a winger. Maybe I'm wrong. But that sucks.
But Pinto was just like, I don't believe in curses, but this is kind of getting ridiculous.
Maybe they can bring back Formenton, isn't he a center?
No, he's in the Swiss League now.
Well, he can't actually sign, and also maybe implicated in a horrible thing that happened. So
they mentioned there's breaking news about that today. There was 5 guys.
Yeah, there was 5, and I saw everybody on the hockey subreddit was like, "Well, we know one is Formenton,
right?
The other 4 we don't know exactly who they are.
We know who it might not be. It might not be Makar. Makar seemed to be cleared. Mete.
I know Batherson staying with Ottawa was also Maybe. But the story apparently is Batherson walked into whatever was happening, was like, ooh, no, and then left. But who knows?
Mete was in another country.
So he says.
He was.
Look, here's the thing. I want the London Police Department to say who the fuck it is, so that they can be shunned out of the league.
Well, no, he has video documentation being like, I was in the Caribbean.
Oh, okay. That's fair. Then it wasn't. There's definitely not him. Then.
Yeah, that
it's like It has a stamp.
Timestamp. Best vacation of my life.
Look, listeners out there. Not that I think you would commit a crime, or any of your friends or family would commit a crime. Timestamp pictures. It seems like a good idea.
Get a receipt.
Get a receipt. Be like
Patrice O'Neill.
That's not what I
get a receipt.
Yeah, that's not where I was. I was here, and like, just take one picture from everywhere that you are, not committing a crime.
Isn't that an app?
Probably.
No, like the daily app that like.
Oh, what's it called? All the young people at work use it.
Yeah.
What is it called?
I'm feeling super old right now.
Haha, we're the same age for a couple more months. Oh. Be real. That's what it's called.
Yeah,
because I hear the younger people that we work with being like, "Just here, be real today." That's what you sound like if you're listening to me. Nerds. You guys are nerds.
As we sit here and talk stats.
Yeah, but we're talking about sports, okay? Okay, bro. All right. If we wanted to be, look, I can bring analytics into this show. Don't make me. We can really be nerds.
We can talk for 4 hours. No one wants that.
Do you guys want that?
No one wants that.
Do you guys want that? Mom, do you want that?
All right. Tampa Bay. Sergachev. Day-to-day with an undisclosed injury. He's already missed one game, so we'll see what happens going forward this week. And then finally for Toronto, speaking of which, Victor Mete.
There he is.
He's on the IR.
Is it on purpose that he's on the IR? Do they know something?
With a lower body. He's actually been out since the 6th. I missed this last week. So
happens.
Yeah.
Happens.
That's the Atlantic.
That's it. That's the Atlantic, baby. All right. Let's talk about the Metro. And I'm just gonna say this at the beginning. I'm gonna go through some overarching news at the end of the Metro because the Central has no news at all.
Oh, cool.
So we'll just talk about all of that after the Metro.
Sounds...
I felt like in the middle of the episode was better than at the end. So.
Yeah.
All right, let's start with Carolina. They were 3-0 this week. As Clay mentioned, they beat Detroit 1-0 to begin their week. Kochetkov had 27 saves in that shutout. Brady Shea had the one goal in that game.
Mm-hmm.
They were 1 for 2 on the power play. That was the one goal. They then beat the Seattle Kraken 3-2, where they outshot Seattle 39-17. Yeah. So, and for you listeners at home,
did I have that? Yes, I did.
Did you? It's a pretty big disparity.
It's not the worst one this week.
For everybody at home, you might be like, oh, so if a team gets more shots than the other one, they're probably going to win. Not this week. Definitely not this week, because we'll get to more of that.
Yeah.
But Carolina, for instance, was up 3-0 in this game and nearly blew it in the third. So it's really not about the amount of shots you get. It's about the
high danger
opportunities. Thank you. That was eluding me for a second.
Like, you can shoot one from the blue line, but if the goalie sees it the entire way in, that's not really. It
still counts as a shot, but it's like, oh, I stopped. That's right in my chest. That's fine.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, I caught it.
Yeah, or I caught it with my glove. No problem. So yeah. Then Carolina won a wild game against Dallas 5-4 in overtime. They were 2 for 4 on the power play in this game. Dallas was 2 for 5 on the power play this game. So
wow.
Svechnikov and Teravainen each had a goal and an assist. Burns 2 assists. Martin Nichas had the overtime game winner plus an assist.
Go.
Kochetkov is their top player this week, 2-0 with a 1.00 goals against average and a .955 save percentage. He has been dynamite for them so far this season. Let's just go to the opposite. Columbus was 0-3 this week. They lost to Florida. They got shut out 4-0. Pretty stinker of a game for them.
Super stinker.
They lost to Tampa Bay 4-1, and I felt bad. So Marchenko was the only one who scored for Columbus.
So you guys shout him out
instead of just not writing any notes for that. And then they lost to Boston 4-2, where they were 2 for 5 on the power play this game,
good.
but they were also 1 for 3 on the penalty kill.
Yep.
Yeah. Goudreau had 2 assists in this game, and Line had a goal and an assist, and they don't have a top player because they went 0-3.
They have like 22 points.
And they scored 3 goals.
Yeah, they only have like 22
Yeah,
points.
they're pretty bad. They're the worst team in the East right now, I think.
In the East, yes. It's them and Philadelphia.
Them and Philly. Yeah, Philly's pretty bad too. Let's look at their points. Yeah, Philly has, well, they have 2 games in hand on Philly. It's a race to who's the worst in the Eastern Conference between Philadelphia and Columbus currently. Let's talk about another team. Sorry, Columbus, you suck this week. Let's talk about another team that really wasn't too good this week.
Oh.
The New Jersey Devils, 0-3-1
Yeah.
this week. New Jersey has fallen back to earth so much so that I believe they only now have a 4-point lead over Carolina, and Pittsburgh is right there too.
And they've lost 5 straight.
Yeah, they're like 1-5-1 in their last 8 games or something. Or, that's not 8. That's 7. Anyway, they've been bad the last couple of weeks, falling back down to earth. As you know, as hot teams always do, you can't stay at the pace that you do that you're hot. Sorry, lost my train of thought.
Talking like me.
Yeah, I know. You can't keep that pace up the entire season. I'm talking to you, Boston. Come back down to earth, Jesus. But they've had a couple of bad weeks in a row, and they're like within striking distance of the other teams in their division now. But they started off the week by losing to, I wrote that they won, but I keep screwing up the scores in my notes. But they lost to the Rangers in overtime 4-3. Dawson Mercer had a goal and an assist in that game. They did come back from a 3-1 deficit, and now I'm questioning myself if they actually
Won or lost
that game. Let me double check. I'm pretty sure they did. In fact, lose this game. Sorry, guys. Sometimes I just transpose scores in my mind. Yes, they did lose that game. Okay, so they did come back from a 3-1 deficit to tie that game. Oh, I remember. I watched the overtime of this game now. Philip Hedl scored the overtime game winner for the Rangers.
Assisted by Lapierre and
Lafreniere.
Sorry, Capitals guys, Lapierre, Lafreniere and Kakko.
Yes, that goal scored. I'll mention it when we talk about the Rangers. We're talking about the Devils right now. But then the Devils.
It's a new team.
It's 3. There's 3 teams that are essentially in the same city.
Yep.
So the Devils then lost to Dallas 4-1. Not much to say about New Jersey in that game. They then lost to Philadelphia 2-1. That's a little shameful. The Devils outshot Philly in this game, almost doubled up their shooting, 49-20. Oh, actually, over doubled their shooting, 49-24.
Wow.
And Philly won. Wow. So just remember what I said before.
Look at you, Carter Hart.
Yeah, Carter Hart had a great. Actually, did he play that game? I didn't write it down. I'm just gonna assume it was Carter Hart.
You got to.
And then they finish off the week, as Clay mentioned, losing 4-2 to the Florida Panthers. Howla did have a goal and an assist in that game.
Yeah,
a little bit of silver lining. They don't get a top player.
Nope.
They're still in first place by 3 or 4 points, I think, right now. But Carolina and Pittsburgh are right there behind them. I think Carolina is 3. Oh, I have the standings pulled up at the present moment. Carolina is only 2 points behind New Jersey with a game in hand, and Pittsburgh is 4 points behind them with a game in hand.
So it's close.
So those 2 teams are right up their butt right now in the standings. Let's talk about the Islanders, though. They went 1-1 this week, losing to Boston in a shootout, like Clay already mentioned. Josh Bailey had a goal and an assist in that game, while Brock Nelson had 2 assists, and Noah Dobson had a goal and an assist. So they did okay statistically, but they lost to the best team right now in Boston. And they took them to a shootout, so no shame in that at all.
No, not at all.
They then lost to Arizona. There's a lot of shame in that. Arizona's really bad. Wahlstrom had 2 assists in that game as a little bit of a silver lining. So they went from a not shameful loss to a shameful loss to beating Vegas to finish off the week 5-2. That's pretty good. They got outshot by Vegas 38-26.
Oof.
Parise and Nelson each had a goal and an assist. JG Pajot had 2 assists, and they were 1 for 3 on the penalty kill in that game.
Wow.
Brock Nelson is your top player for the Islanders this week with a goal and 4 assists. Now, the other New York City-based team of the 3 did well this week. And the Rangers going 3-0.
Boo. Sorry.
I believe the Rangers have won 6 games in a row at this point over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, they've been
They're looking better this week. They beat New Jersey in overtime, like I said. Heedle's goal in overtime was the game winner. That goal, that was a hell of a shot. It was a snipe coming down, I think, the right wing side, because I flipped it on while I was watching hockey one night.
Right.
Because I saw they went to overtime. And it was a hell of a shot. And it was right after the Devils had possession for the first half of the overtime, and then he and his line mates just walked down, and he just sniped it right past Vanacek or whoever was in that. Trocheck and Hedl each had a goal and an assist in that game, while Keandre Miller had 2 assists.
I love me some Keandre.
He had a good week.
I saw that goal against Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm. Where he went. He actually would have gotten a penalty shot had he not scored that.
Yeah.
I think. Anyway, sometimes they're weird about calling penalty shots.
It would definitely be the power play.
It would have. Yeah, there was definitely a penalty to be called.
It was a delayed penalty where he scored that goal.
He got tripped, but I think it might have been a penalty shot had he not scored, but he did score, so it didn't matter. They then beat Toronto 3-1, where they were 1 for 1 on the power play in that game. Trocheck had 2 assists, while Jimmy Vesey, of all people, had 2 goals.
Wow.
They then beat Philly, as they should, 6-3. Panarin, Goudreau, and Miller, Keandre Miller, that is, had a goal and an assist in that game. Zibanejad had 2 assists.
Zibanejad scares me.
Their top players of the week were... I know he does, because he has multiple hat tricks against the Capitals.
He's a bad, bad man.
Trocheck and Miller are their co-top players of the week. They each had a goal and 4 assists.
Has Zibanejad only played for New York?
Mm-mm.
He played for
Ottawa.
Ottawa.
Yeah.
I thought it was Minnesota.
If I remember correctly, the trade that brought him to New York involved Derek Brassard going to Ottawa, which, in hindsight, kind of a lopsided trade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe Zibanejad was also a cap killer, even on Ottawa.
Probably. There's just teams that some guys just do really well against.
He's a bad man.
To this day, R.J. Umberger, who is from the Pittsburgh area, scored at least half of his goals against the Penguins. I swear to God.
He likes being home.
Apparently.
Plays better at home.
I think he scored like 30 goals in his career. 15 of them were against the Penguins.
If he had just played for Pittsburgh,
there were people that were
goals.
like, just sign him in the offseason so he can't score against us. Because he played for the Flyers for a while, and then I think he played for Columbus for a while, and he just brought his bad Penguin juju to Columbus.
He just wanted to play at
home.
It
made me so mad.
He would have scored a game at home.
He would have beat Gretzky's record already.
Exactly.
If he played for the Penguins, just at home. He would have 900 goals in Pittsburgh. The Rangers are one of those teams I mentioned before that went 10 for 9 on the penalty kill because they had a shorthanded goal.
Good for them.
Let's talk about the almost bottom feeding Flyers that went 1-2 this week. They started off their week by losing to Colorado 3-2. They then did beat New Jersey 2-1, as I previously mentioned, where they were doubled up on shots. Konechny had the game-winning goal in that game. So, hey, you played the division leader pretty hard.
Yep.
And then they lost to the Rangers 6-3. There's not really anything else to say in that game. They had 2 shorthanded goals against this week.
That's it?
That's it. It's pretty bad. They don't have a top player.
I feel like someone had 2 shorthanded goals against them this game. In one game.
Let's move on to the other side of the Keystone State. What?
It was Detroit.
Oh, Detroit did? They had 2 against them in one game. That's a bad look.
Ottawa had, in that game, Ottawa went 3 for 5 in the Ottawa versus Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Ottawa went 3 for 5 on the power play.
6
for 7 with 2 shorthanded goals.
Wow. All right, well, fine. Just upstage me like that.
That's
Let's
what
go.
I'm here for.
And you completely glossed over my great transition. We go to the other side of the Keystone State
That's
and
excellent.
talked about Pittsburgh.
Great segue.
Pittsburgh only played 2 games this week, but they were 2-0 in those 2 games. They beat Dallas 2-1 in a very close, very good game. Both goalies played extremely well. Jari and I think it was Ottinger for Dallas. I might be wrong in that, but Pittsburgh ended up winning 2-1. Jason Zucker had 2 assists in that game, and Evgeny Malkin scored the game-winning goal with 35 seconds left in the game. 35 seconds left in that game.
Man, that's heartbreaking for Dallas not getting that loser point.
Yeah, because even the announcers were like, okay, this game is probably going to overtime, but Evgeny Malkin was like, nah. And then Pittsburgh beat Florida, like Clay already mentioned. They were 2 for 3 on the power play in this game.
Yes, they were.
Jake Gensel had 2 goals. Crosby had 2 assists. Chris Letang, of all people, had a shorthanded goal and an assist in this game. Malkin is their co-top player this week with 2 goals and an assist, and their other co-top player is Tristan Jarry, who was 2-0 with a 150 goals against average and a 951 save percentage.
Wow.
And I will say in that Florida game, thankfully he avoided major injury, but the one of Malkin's 2 goals happened in the Florida game, obviously, and he took a Crosby shot off of the knee that went in the net on the power play, and he was writhing in pain pretty bad.
Oh, yeah. Everyone was standing over him trying to celebrate, and he's just like...
Well, no, they saw what happened, but all the lights were flashing for a goal in that game, and he was just like, everybody was like, oh, God, is he dead? But thankfully, he was back at practice, so thankfully, I'm sure he has a nice bruise on his knee. But he did an interview, and he was like,
yeah, at least it wasn't Gensel or...
Yeah, he was like, yeah, Crosby doesn't shoot as hard as Letang or Gensel, so we're good. That was so funny. I mean, they've been on the same team for
forever,
16 years at this point. So I think they're like as close as to best friends as they possibly could be, and he's just like taking a dig at Crosby.
Of course.
But let's finish off the Metro with the Washington Capitals, who went 2-1 in their quest to upend their season to get back within striking distance of the playoffs, which they have the last 2 weeks.
Yes.
They started off the week by stomping the Chicago Blackhawks 7-3.
It's ugly.
Where they had 1 power play and they scored on it.
Yep.
And all the rest of the 6 goals were 5-on-5 or better.
Yep.
Alex Ovechkin, 3 goals and an assist in this game. And ladies and gentlemen, he has joined the 800 goals club.
Third player
all time to reach it. He is.
I was thinking of Yager with points. That's why I thought
Yager is second in points now.
Yeah.
Yager had in the high 700s of goals too, but he did not reach 800.
You see, that's who I was thinking. I was like, hey, Yager hit 800, right? No, I was mistaken.
I'm sorry, not Malkin. Ovechkin is only 2 goals behind Gordie Howe to tie him for second all time. I'm sure.
No, he's 1 goal behind Howe.
Did he score again this week?
No, I thought Howe had 801.
No, he has 802.
Oh, okay.
So Ovi's only 3 goals from taking second place overall, which I'm sure he will do in the next few weeks.
They're playing Detroit. He might do it in that game.
He might do it in that game. But yeah, congratulations, Ovechkin. And only 95 technically.
Yep.
More to go to break the record.
He's on pace.
Do it.
He's on pace for 53 goals this season.
Do it. I believe. Take something away from Gretzky, please. Nobody's ever going to take the points away.
Crazy. I mean, you take the goals away, he still leads the all-time points, so, which is insane.
Yeah. This is crazy. It was a different time when he played.
And he was the best at that time.
Yeah. Oh, no, he was. Yeah. No taking that away from him.
If the only it's a what if Lemieux stayed healthy.
Yeah, maybe he could have. He was the only person that challenged Gretzky's. He actually had more points per game,
right?
But when he retired the first time, and then he came out of retirement, and then dipped back down.
The cancer or
the back injuries. Yeah, that man beat cancer. Gretzky didn't beat cancer. I hope he never has to deal with it.
That's something Phil Kessel has done.
That's right. And that was nut cancer.
Wasn't Lemieux's?
No.
Oh.
His was lymphoma.
Ah.
His was non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, I think. Beat it, though.
Yeah.
And then he came back the same season that he beat it and scored like 200 points.
Right.
So, I mean, the greatest players of all time, you talk about Gretzky, you talk about Lemieux, you talk about maybe Bobby Orr. Who knows what Bobby Orr's points would have been? He only played like 7 seasons.
Right.
Which is crazy. I never remember that.
Who is the guy from the Flyers?
Oh, Lindros?
Nope.
No?
Sorry.
Bobby Clark?
I said Flyers.
Oh.
For Flyers, you were 100% Lindros. I meant Islanders. Hossa, who just nope.
What?
Who just passed away too? He just passed
don't
away.
know. I don't remember.
His
Denny Potvin? He didn't die. I don't remember who passed
it
away.
begins with an H. I can't think of it.
Dale Howardchuk? No. He did pass away. That was many years ago, though.
He just passed away this past year.
I don't remember. I don't know.
Either way, but he's another guy who like played like 5 seasons, and he's in the top.
Yeah.
He just got passed within the past 2 years by Ovechkin for like top goals.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of what ifs. I mean, I wish you could. I wish in like a sports video game I could turn off injuries and see what would happen in real life.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you can't do that. So, but congratulations, Ovechkin, for being in rarefied air. Obviously, a Hall of Famer whenever his career ends.
We've been talking about when he regresses for like 5 years now.
It's the same thing with Crosby. I personally, I swear to God, if him and Crosby don't retire
Mike
the same
Bossy.
year,
Mike Bossy.
Oh, did he pass away?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame. I didn't realize that. I was actually going to guess Mike Bossy,
I
but
said
no, he's still alive.
I said the H. That's my fault.
Yeah. R.I.P. Mike Bossy.
Crosby's been.
If him and Crosby don't retire the same year, I will riot. Because they came in together, they should leave together. They're both clearly Hall of Fame players. It would be so awesome if they retired the same year. They should talk to each other and be like, "Are you ready to go?" All right.
They might be at this point.
They might. They're both like, what's Ovechkin? 36? 37?
Yeah.
Crosby, I think, is 35, going on 36. So,
Crosby has 3 more years. Ovechkin has like 3 more years in his contract.
Crosby does too, I think, but Crosby is also a physical freak, so I have no idea how long he'll keep playing. Well, same thing with Ovechkin, really, yeah.
I mean, the man eats chicken parm and drinks Coke during the games, but like...
I do too, but I am not anywhere near as good a shape as he is. I have a sneaking suspicion he might break the record and then just maybe go back to Russia. I don't know. My dream is for Crosby and Ovechkin to both retire the same season, and they will go into the Hall of Fame the same season. Their first ballot Hall of Famers.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
There's no argument about that. But yeah, anyway, they played other games this week, too.
Yeah, they did.
They lost to Dallas 2-1 in a tight game.
Ottinger stood on his head.
Yeah. Washington did outshoot Dallas 46-26 in this game. And then, hey, they finished off the week by beating a pretty good Toronto team 5-2. Eric Gustafsson, of all people, had a hat trick in this game. Sonny Milano had 3 assists, and Evgeny Kuznetsov had 2 assists in this game. Ovechkin, their top player. 3 goals, 2 assists this week. Obviously, reaching the 800 goals club. You got to give it to him.
Right.
Soon he'll bury Gordie Howe.
One of those assists was in the Toronto game. Basically, he had a...
He didn't have any points in the Toronto game.
He didn't have any points in the Toronto game?
It must have been in the Dallas game.
He might have...
Maybe he was the third.
He might have tried to like bank a pass off of somebody, but everyone and their mother thought he was about to shoot, and he tried to put it on Sherry.
Tricky.
Tried to put it on Sherry's stick. And
Gotcha.
Samsonov made the save.
Gotcha. Yeah. Congratulations, Ovi. Let's go to news real quick. I have some. I'll do the injuries first, and then we'll talk about the overarching stuff. Jeff Petrie of the Pittsburgh Penguins is on the LTIR with an undisclosed injury, but I would have to assume it has something to do with his arm because I saw him go out of the game. He just kind of took a weird check into the boards.
Yeah.
and he hit his arm, and like immediately after the game, he was like, "I think I'm fine." And then like 2 days later, they're like, "He's on the LTIR." And I'm like, okay, so he might have broken his arm.
Yeah.
It's on the LTIR, but it seemed like maybe it's on the lower end of the LTIR. Like he'll be back this year.
Yeah.
He might be back in sometime in January.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Jason Zucker is also week to week with a lower body injury. Hopefully that's not anything super serious because he's been playing pretty well for the Penguins so far. Pellick of the Islanders is on the IR now with an upper body injury, which is a bummer.
That's bad for the Islanders.
All right, let's talk about some news. The Caps owner, Ted Leonis, came out and said he has pledged that they will try their best to compete every year that they still have Ovechkin.
I mean,
it's more or less the same thing the Penguins said about Crosby, Malkin, and Letang.
yeah.
So, you know.
I mean, it's one of those things where we're gonna have to they're gonna have to rebuild soon. But they're not gonna do that with Ovechkin.
It'll be more of a retool, which will be like, okay, maybe they'll make the playoffs, maybe they won't.
Right.
Sort of thing. It might be like and I could see the Penguins doing this too, kind of regressing to like a mediocre team.
Right.
You know?
You have some good players around Ovechkin to give him the puck so he can get the score.
Yeah.
Get goals, but you might not make the playoffs. And that's fine. I don't care.
That's fine. I don't think any Washington fans probably care that much. And if they do care,
they got a cup in 2018.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, there's Penguins fans that are like, we should totally rebuild. We should trade like Crosby and Malkin. Like, no. You have no loyalty.
I have the cup. Yeah. I don't care about anything else.
Yeah,
and I just needed one.
It's
Tampa's over there being greedy.
It's one thing to be like, oh, this is a business, and act like you're Vegas and be like, and just ship guys off all the time. But if you're talking about players that have spent their entire careers on that team, talking about Ovechkin, talking about Crosby, talking about guys like Backstrom and Malkin, it's kind of mean to just be like, oh no, cast them away.
And like Stone for Calgary.
Yeah, it's callous to just like be like, oh yeah, just get rid of him.
They thought he might not make for Stone in Calgary. They thought he might not make the team because he had. Like, it might have been a paid tryout.
Oh, I think he did have a PTO,
yeah. So.
But he made the team.
And the fans were just like, if he wasn't, we were going to riot.
Yeah. So, for fans of teams out there, have a little loyalty to the guys that have poured their blood into the team that you cheer for, you know? Anyway, the Board of Governors meeting happened this week. A couple of notable things came out of it. It looks like the cap's only going to go up by $1 million next year, just based on like revenue projections. So that's a bummer. I guess there's an outside chance that it
jumps up more.
If the players meet the whatever money line that they have to meet, it might jump up more, but that looks unlikely.
Gotcha.
So it is what it is. Thanks, COVID. Gary Bettman, apparently there was also talk of expanding the playoffs at the Board of Governors meeting, but Gary Bettman's like, no fucking way are we doing that.
You shouldn't.
You should not. Half the league makes the playoffs.
When half the league already makes the playoffs,
enough.
Don't expand it.
That is more than enough. And apparently some of the Board of Governors
then get good.
Have been like, oh, we should have a play-in round, yada, yada.
It's called the regular season.
Yeah.
That's your play-in round.
Well, their point is, like, it will generate more revenue to have this play-in round. I'm not in favor of that.
It won't.
Half the league makes the playoffs already. That is more than enough.
Think about how long the playoffs goes.
It's like 2 months.
It goes forever.
Yeah, it's like 2 months. So no expanding the playoffs, please, and thank you. I don't like Gary Bettman, but this is one of the things I'm like, he's right.
If anything, like the only thing to change about the playoffs is go back to the 1 to 8.
I would be in favor of that. Yeah, the one. I understand why they do.
They're trying to make.
I get it.
Rivalries.
And it has made teams hate each other a lot more, certainly. But I don't know. The 1 to 8 is like, well, then you get to play like a team you might not. You know? And then say like Washington gets to play like Tampa Bay in a 1-8 series.
Yeah.
And that's fun.
Outside of like the championship. Like
Yeah. Or a wild card or whatever.
Like Toronto might have made it past the first round if it was
Maybe.
a 1-8.
If they haven't had to play Boston the last 5 years in the playoffs.
Well, last year was Tampa.
That's true.
Tampa was the one team that could beat Toronto.
And then 1 year they lost to
The Capitals.
wasn't it Oh yeah, that. Oh, I guess it wasn't Boston every year. Who'd they lose the weird COVID playoffs to? It wasn't Montreal. That was Pittsburgh. I don't remember.
I don't know.
They lost to someone else. Anyway, so I agree with Gary Bettman. Do not expand the playoffs.
No.
The playoffs are precisely where they need to be. But the NHL is pondering a little bit of a schedule change coming up. And that schedule change would maybe involve adding 2 more games to the regular season, which isn't that bad in my... Now, the reason they want to do it is because right now, the way the schedule is you play 2 games against every team in the other conference, which is fine, a home and home. That's great. You play 3 games against all the other teams in the other division. So that's 24, I think.
Yep.
But once you get to your division is when it gets jumbled up.
Gotcha.
Because right now, I think you play somewhere between 3 and 5 games against the teams in your division.
If you just make it 4 for everybody.
So that's what they want to do. They want to make it 4 for everybody. Now, to do that, they would have to add 2 extra games onto the season. I would be okay with that. That's not that much.
If they take away some preseason games?
They were talking about doing that. So they were talking about taking away preseason games to add 2 extra games.
Because the preseason's already long enough as it is.
And nobody cares about the preseason. The starters barely play in the preseason,
right?
Until maybe the very last game of the preseason. But if it's just 2 games, that's like maybe a week that you're adding on to the season.
Yeah.
And I would say they would probably just start a week earlier than they do.
Exactly.
That's fine.
Right.
I would be fine with it. I honestly, in my personal opinion, I would be fine with it.
If you're getting rid of some trading preseason games, and players will probably also want the training camps to be shortened too.
Probably.
Because
but whatever.
You're right.
Yeah.
Again, do that.
Yeah.
Fine. Shorten the preseason by 2 weeks if you want to keep the training camp the same amount of time, but shorten it by 2 weeks, it'll be fine.
Yeah. So adding 2 games to make it so you play all of your division teams 4 times each. That's great. I like that.
That works.
I like that. But yeah. That's it for the news, the overall news and the injuries from the Metro.
Okie dokie.
What's going on in the Pacific?
In the Pacific, Anaheim
Sucks.
went 2-2.
Hey, look at them.
They
Look at them.
doubled up their regulation wins.
Hell yeah. They got 1.
No, they got 2 this week.
They tripled them this week. Because they had 1 before,
They
right?
had 1, and then they doubled. Yeah, you're right. Tripled up.
I got you. I feel you.
Thanks,
I feel
Bill.
you.
Thanks,
I feel
Bill.
you, bud. I feel you.
All right. They're still 9-20-3.
Still so bad.
All right.
Hold on. Are they? They might have eclipsed Chicago. Chicago is really bad. They did eclipse Chicago.
What?
They did. Yeah.
I
They have 3 point. Well, Chicago has 3 games in hand, but that doesn't really matter. Chicago is the worst team in the league.
Wow, I didn't think that was possible. All right.
I didn't either, but Chicago sucks.
So, Anaheim. We've talked about their first 2 games this week.
Yes.
They got shut out in both of them.
Yeah.
By Ottawa 3-0 and then Toronto 7-0.
10-0 in 2 games.
10-0 in 2 games.
Yikes.
This is an away trip as well. All of these are away from home. And then against Montreal, they get their second regulation win of the season, beating them 5-2.
Man, it's so funny.
Dostal is their goalie.
I have to do something while you're talking, but keep talking.
It's Meds.
Yes, it's bad stuff.
Yeah. 5-2. 1 for 2 on the power play, 3 for 4 on the penalty kill. Klingberg has 2 goals in this game, including that game winner.
Look at him playing well for once.
And then, to end the week, they beat Edmonton Oilers in regulation.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they
I saw that
did.
last night.
Uh, Dostal, I'm going to say his name 3 different ways. Dostal in nets, 46 for 49.
Damn.
They were outshot 17 to 49.
What are you doing, Edmonton? What is happening?
Oh, man.
Even hear me.
Maybe. Yeah. Dylan Strome. Nope. Ryan Strome had a goal and an assist in that game as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw
A good week.
I'll just talk to you. I saw that last night, and I was like, no.
Yes.
Edmonton's not going to drop this game.
They dropped that game. And so they went 2 for 8 on the power play, 12 for 17 on the penalty kill. So that's so bad. Mason McTavish is their top points getter because they get a top points getter because they got 2 wins.
Woo!
4 assists. And Klingberg, because he heard us talking shit last week,
We sucked this whole season.
3 goals this week. Both of them, or he got the game winner against Edmonton too. So back-to-back game winners for Klingberg.
Look at him.
Yeah.
I'm back. Sorry. My dog needs medication at certain times.
If you didn't hear Bird, he was just talking shit.
I can't believe Edmonton lost that game.
Ah, man.
Insane.
49 shots to 17 shots, and you lost.
That's so bad. Oh, my God.
See, that was the highlights that I meant to look at before coming here, but I just got too busy.
Yeah, that Dostal kid has been playing okay for them in that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because this is injury news, but I'll talk about this now. Stolarz is on the IR.
Ooh, that sucks.
And Gibson is day-to-day.
Oh, my God.
He got hurt in the Toronto game.
Oh, Anaheim.
When he left, I think he started the game and he left with only 2 goals in. So Dostal came in and it did not go well.
Man.
But then he settled in the games where he started. Other than the Ottawa game.
Good for him.
Yeah.
I mean, good for him.
Yep.
He's taking an opportunity and running with it.
So yeah.
And this is the beginning of their run to the playoffs.
No, they're
The
still
Stanley Cup
They
final.
still want Bedard.
The Stanley Cup winning Anaheim Ducks. I'm really interested
In
to see.
5 years, maybe, but
I'm really interested to see who gets Bedard. I think another thing that was talked about the Board of Governors, just talking about Bedard and terrible teams, was having like a mini tournament for the number 1 overall pick. And I was like, that doesn't even make sense. It's supposed to go to the worst team. Or
Right.
the worst team is supposed to have the best odds at it.
yeah.
And so, like, you're going to have the worst 4 play each other for it?
It's like the South Park episode when they're playing baseball. And
They're trying to lose. Well, like, is the winner of the tournament going to get the first pick, or is the worst team in the tournament going to get the first pick?
That's what I want, and I want them to try to tank
they
as hard as possible.
Those games end like 15-14.
Yeah.
Where they're just like, no, pull the goalie. Just pull, pull the goalie. No, it's fine. Let them score. I don't care that we lose 15-0.
Yeah, I don't want a goalie.
I don't. We want the number 1 pick.
Put it in your own net.
That kid looks electric.
Put it in your own net.
Score on yourself. Just every time you get the puck, shoot it in the net.
Ends up with like those
So, that like fundamentally doesn't make sense to me.
soccer match fixing scandals where like the one
Or the,
African team scored 40 own goals to like put the
That's like,
differential.
you're not even trying to pretend.
Everyone got like banned.
Yeah, well, it's like the what was it? It was the Chicago Black Sox, right? Mm-hmm. It has that World Series scandal, and that's the reason why the Shoeless Joe, right, is not in the Hall of Fame.
Correct.
It's because of that.
And he didn't even want to do it.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm surprised more shit like that doesn't come out. I see so many sports fans online are like, the fix is in. They rigged it this way. I saw somebody today, because we're recording this the day of the World Cup final. I saw somebody today on Reddit be like, oh, because one of the Argentinian players flopped for something. He's like, they should just come out and say that soccer is a scripted sport. I'm like, everybody knows that they flop. Every team does it.
Also,
Shut up.
the if you're running full speed, the slightest touch makes you fall.
It was on a penalty kick, and a guy kind of like tapped him, and
No,
he was just like, my eye.
Oh, okay. I mean, I saw the Di Maria one where he got tripped. That looks soft, but it's one of those things. He got touched at full speed. Yeah. He goes.
Yeah. Hey, congratulations, Argentina.
Um,
Hope it was worth the 6,500 lives that were lost. Anyway, hockey.
It's not their fault.
You're right. It's Qatar's fault.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Qatar.
And FIFA.
And FIFA. Fuck you, FIFA.
They talked about putting it in North Korea.
No, they fucking didn't. They didn't.
The head of FIFA. It's just like, yeah, why not North Korea?
You guys should just watch hockey. It's not like there's still things wrong with hockey. At least that doesn't happen.
Hey, like 2 decades ago, there was a major NBA
That's true.
scandal.
Yeah, that's true.
And no one talks about it. Only one guy went to prison. Only one ref went to prison. But every single ref was doing it.
It just makes me so mad about this World Cup. They're like, let's put it in Qatar because they gave us money.
Hey, for Qatar, in Qatar's slight defense, everyone, 2002, I think, with Germany hosting it, one of the German ambassadors was walking around with briefcases full of money to give to, like, they've been corrupt the entire time.
FIFA of all of the sporting...
FIFA's the problem.
Yeah, as FIFA of all of the sporting international regulators is the most corrupt one.
South Africa paid for it.
Yeah.
Brazil, Russia, maybe North America for this next World Cup.
I imagine the United States probably paid for it. And they were like, Mexico, Canada, you guys want to pitch in a little bit?
Right, exactly.
Yeah. I'm sure that's how you get the World Cup.
They're brazen about it.
Yeah.
I think it was Beckenbauer was walking around Germany with suitcases.
At least I would imagine that most of those other countries didn't use slave labor to build their stadiums, but I guess I don't know. So fuck you, Qatar. Anyway, we're talking about hockey
and FIFA
and fuck you, FIFA.
There we go. We're
back. We're back.
All right.
IIHF though, International Hockey Federation. I mean, you guys kind of suck too, but you're not. Hey, you're not FIFA.
Perfect. All right, San Jose's up next in our pile of poop. 1-0-1. They only played 2 games.
POP, pile of poop.
POP 10-16-6.
Better than Chicago.
Yes, they are. They beat Arizona 3-2, and then they lost to the Kings in a shootout.
You know what's incredible is that Arizona is actually better than all of these teams we've mentioned so far.
It's just we're just so used to it talking about them for the past 3 years.
Yeah.
They got 2 top players because 2 games.
All right.
Nick Bonino had a goal and an assist in the Arizona game.
Hey, shout out Nick Bonino.
And Timo Meyer had a goal and an assist in
You love Nick Bonino.
Fuck that Amish dude.
He's not Amish, but he looks like he is.
That beard. Just broke my heart. Game 6.
Yeah, I know. I watched that game. This is before we knew each other.
You thought the tables had turned when
when
Jay Beagle saved that shot with like the
with
middle
like
of his
minute before that. Yeah.
with the middle of his stick, and then no.
Nick Bonino. I love the Punjabi Hockey Night in Canada guys. They're so funny. That was the same guy that went bang bang Chris Letang. Those guys are awesome. Sorry. Shout out Nick Bonino.
Broke my heart again. All right, Vancouver.
Bang bang.
Breaking everyone's heart.
Chris Letang.
1-1 this week.
I'm sorry, who are we talking about?
Vancouver.
I know. I just had I blanked out for a second.
Vancouver.
I was thinking about the Bonino. Oh, Vancouver.
1-1. Only one jersey ended up on the ice this week.
Whose was it?
I think it was Horvat's.
That makes sense.
There's a lot of talk about him getting traded.
Do you have that in the news?
No.
Okay.
I haven't talked
finish
about
up
it,
the
but
games.
yeah.
I want to talk about Vancouver.
So 1-1, they beat Calgary in a shootout. and then they got stomped by Winnipeg 5-1.
Yeah.
And then I think so. I think it was a Horvat jersey that ended up on the ice in the Winnipeg game. There was a lot of the person who threw the ice got booed hard by the Vancouver
Don't
fans.
throw stuff on the ice.
'Cause it was
unless it's a hat trick. Though.
It was during play too, so
Oh,
like
that's
that.
fucked. Yeah,
that
that's
guy
fucked.
got booed hard. It's just like
Look, here's the thing. I understand being mad with your team, but don't throw stuff on the ice. Don't throw stuff on any sporting event like field, ice, whatever, court, whatever.
unless
Don't
it's
throw
a
it on
hat
the
trick.
ice. Unless it's a hat trick, then you can. But
Vancouver's 13, 14, and 3. Hoglander had 2 assists.
that's nice. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Just really quick about Vancouver.
So Bo Horvat,
Yeah.
like what you
Yeah,
mentioned,
yeah.
it has seemed they have offered him a contract. He has turned it down, and he's probably going to free agency.
Well, he's probably gonna get traded.
I mean,
at
yeah,
this point.
because it was 5.3 contract.
That was what he got offered this past summer.
Okay.
They don't have the specifics of what he got offered recently that he turned down. I know that it was 7 or 8 years, but they did not. Whoever was reporting it did not have a money figure.
Right.
And if they were offering him 5.3, that's such a lowball offer.
It's
Because he's making 5.5 right now, so you're offering him under what he's making right now. He's your captain,
Didn't realize that.
and he's like a fairly solid two-way player.
He's not as much 2-way. He's basically JT.
He's a fair player.
He's JT
you know?
Miller. He's consistent and a little better defensively than Miller is.
Yeah,
It's really it.
But he's like a 50 to 60 point player, and you're offering him like just over $5 million. 50 to 60 point players make 6 to 7. That's such a slap in the face.
Yeah, for the guy who spent his entire career there.
Yeah, and he's your captain.
Yeah.
So he's probably going to get traded by the trade deadline, maybe. And if he doesn't, he'll definitely go to free agency at this point. But on top of that, did you see the thing that was reported out of the Board of Governors meeting? Apparently, Vancouver has said to other teams that they're open for business.
So
And everybody is on the table except for Elias Pettersson. But even Quinn Hughes is on the table, but they need a mammoth offer for him.
yes, I did see that. So yeah,
The only one who is
Pettersson
who is untouchable is Pettersson.
completely off the table. Quinn Hughes, you're gonna have to.
I'm gonna guess he's more or less off the table,
He's
unless somebody blows him away.
He's basically untouchable.
I don't know why you would trade Hughes, but maybe they're waiting for New Jersey to give them something to have all of the Hughes brothers.
That's what I was gonna say. You got Quinn Hughes, you got Luke, you got.
They already have Quinn and Luke, or no, I'm sorry, they already have Jack and Luke.
They have
They
Jack
just
Quinn.
need to add
they have
Quinn.
Quinn Jack. Then they have so many
I
versions.
forgot they have Jack Quinn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, Jack Quinn's on Buffalo. That's a different player. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I got confused.
Well, they got.
They have Jack and Luke.
Hughes.
Luke isn't in the league yet. Hughes.
Yeah.
These are the 3 Hughes brothers. I don't know if there's more.
But they have like a Quinn Jack, a Jack Quinn.
there is a Jack Quinn in the league. Yeah.
They have this crazy assortment,
Yeah.
and it'd be great if New Jersey had them all. And
They're
then
gonna
they
have
wore the
to-
jersey.
It would be funny if they just had 3 Hugheses on their team, all the same family. It would be a fun story.
And
But,
isn't there like a Jack Hughes that's not related to
yeah,
them as well?
There's another Jack Hughes. I think he's in this draft class. Totally unrelated.
Yeah.
He's just a totally unrelated
I
kid.
hope New Jersey gets him.
That would be so funny. He's supposed to be like an okay prospect too. But like, yeah, it's just crazy. Vancouver's like, yeah, we'll trade anybody. I'm like, well, nobody's gonna take OEL. Nobody's gonna take that
Well,
contract.
they've
Nobody's gonna take JT Miller's contract, probably.
Well, I mean, yeah. JT Miller.
Maybe somebody, but what was that JT? Wasn't it 8x8?
Yeah.
It was something like that.
He's not going
Maybe
anywhere.
if you retain 50%, but that's still 8 years to.
It's upsetting because
But that it also sucks because like you're thinking like Niels Hoglander, who is like 19, is apparently also on the table. You know, like the only person that's not on the table. That's such a morality hit for your team as well. It's just like, oh, all of us could be traded.
Uh-huh.
Maybe you
Yeah.
want to be traded. If I hear that, I'm like, trade
I'm
me
fine.
then.
Yeah.
Go ahead and trade me then.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'll go. Maybe I get traded to Tampa Bay or Pittsburgh or Washington or whoever, and like maybe they appreciate me more on that
Right.
team. Yeah, go ahead and trade me.
Yep.
Yeah. If I was one of the players on Vancouver not named Elias Pettersson or Quinn Hughes, I'd be like, go ahead and trade me.
I mean-
because now I'm mad.
Well,
you know?
even those guys are probably just like, come on.
I'm sure they're also like, they didn't like come out and say that. That was like I think it was Elliot Friedman reporting that was like kind of on the DL. All the teams have been made aware that like all of these guys are available.
Well, it's their owners who refuse to actually do a rebuild.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Part of that statement was also like they don't want to do a rebuild; they want to do a retool. I'm like, so you want to trade basically your entire team away to retool, quote unquote?
Their owners refuse to suck for
Who's their owner? Aquilini.
Aquilini.
Yeah.
They refuse to do like a full rebuild
Yeah, they're stuck in 2011 when they went to the Stanley Cup final.
and suck for.
They don't have those
5
players.
years.
You don't have Luongo. You don't have the Sedins. You like,
No, you don't.
and it's going to happen anyway. You're going to have to rebuild because the things you're going to get back for any of these players are probably draft picks and prospects,
And it's going to take a while to.
and it's going to take a while to develop those things. You know, like the Sedins weren't Hall of Fame players right away.
No.
They were okay to begin, and then they turned into great players. Excuse me. It's just crazy to me that was even put out there that like anybody on the team is open to be traded.
Oh, and who knows if that came before the Winnipeg game or after the Winnipeg game?
And they're getting stomped too. So like the value you're getting for these players isn't gonna be what you think it is because like you look terrible they've looked better the last few weeks, but
Offensively, 'cause
Yeah.
the defensive is the problem. We
But,
talked
like-
about that last week.
But I see like they're saying because the last few weeks Besser has been bandied about as like trade bait. And I'm like, why'd you sign him to that contract then? I was surprised you did.
Well,
It was like a 3-year, $6-point-something million $1 contract. I'm shocked that I was surprised at the beginning of the season that they signed him to that contract.
for Besser, it's short term. They were hoping that he would return to his rookie year form.
Yeah, he hasn't really, but
Injuries.
maybe he needs to change his scenery.
Yeah.
You know, like he's had a rough time personally. Didn't his
father?
dad
Yeah,
passed away?
passed away.
Which, speaking from personal experience, that's horrible. You know, to lose your father.
So he was,
But like,
and that was a long,
it's
and that was
just
a,
like,
and from what I remember, that was a long-term illness too. Like,
yeah, it's just one of those things that's just like making that clear to the rest of the league really hits the morality of your team. And you're just like, oh, yeah, we don't care about any of you guys except for Elias Pettersson and maybe Quinn Hughes.
you're right.
Yeah, that just to me is the harbinger of the Vancouver Canucks just taking a nosedive
Yep.
for the rest of the year.
So we're gonna stop rooting for them.
I want them to. I like
Sorry,
the Canucks.
sorry.
I want to root for them, but I don't want to root for their owner.
Yeah.
It's like the Pirates. I'm from Pittsburgh. I'm sure you guys know that.
Figure that out.
I want the Pirates to succeed. I hate their owner because he refuses to spend money.
Yeah.
And he's a billionaire. A billionaire. He has enough money to put a competitive team
He
at the
just-
very least competitive team on
He
the
just
field.
chooses
and
not
he
to.
just won't do it. He just like chooses to not do it. I hate. Fuck you, Bob Nutting. Anyway, let's move on. It's just like a crazy thing that
Yeah, no.
Vancouver has been like. You can have any of these gentlemen. It's like opening a weird auction.
Yeah.
That's like you could have OEL for the low price of a 6th round pick. You know, and it's just like oh
It's
my
not going to
God,
go well.
It doesn't. It
season's
just
not-
looks terrible.
The season's not going to go well
And they
for
like
them.
have started the last few weeks. They've looked at least competent in the games
Yeah.
that they've played. Man, it just breaks my heart.
letting in a
It
lot
just
of
breaks
points,
my
but they're
heart.
putting them up.
Yeah,
but
it just
that
breaks
didn't
my
happen
heart.
this week.
Anyway, who's next?
Calgary's next.
All right.
0-1-2 this week.
Oh, Calgary.
Oh, Calgary.
Oh, Calgary.
13, 12, and 6.
Man.
Not
You know
a
what's-
good year for them.
You know what's
too.
crazy is the big blockbuster trade that happened in the offseason between Calgary and Florida, and both of them are not doing that well.
And not having a good time.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's
Maybe they
nuts.
shouldn't got rid of Huberdeau.
Maybe Florida shouldn't have traded Huberdeau, and maybe Calgary should have tried to convince Kachuk to stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shootout lost to Montreal.
Yeah.
Shootout lost to Vancouver. And then St. Louis showed up.
Yeah, St. Louis was like, sup?
Yeah,
We're going to take that win.
St. Louis was playing like they should have been playing. And
Yeah, St. Louis. Yeah, we'll get to St. Louis in a
and
little
kicked the
bit.
shit out of Calgary.
Yeah.
Dubé got 4 assists. I got nothing really to talk about because that's
fair. Yeah, there's a couple of teams I'm like, I don't really have anything to say about
there was
them.
one empty net goal in the shootout, or in the St. Louis loss, but nope, no, never mind. Math. There wasn't an empty net, so 5-2.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's not
that's
not good.
Not good.
All right, next up is Edmonton, 1-2-1 this week.
Whatever. She went in the bedroom or something.
1-2-1 this week for
Sorry, I was looking to see where my dog went.
7-14-1. They got their first overtime loss this week,
Damn.
and it was to St. Louis in a shootout.
Yep.
Losing to Minnesota 1-2, beating Nashville 6-3, and then losing. Just mentioned the shootout loss, and then losing to Anaheim in regulation.
Man, oh man.
Skinner,
I
13 for 17.
Fucking Edmonton, dude. I know.
7 for 18 on the power play.
I know I shit on Edmonton all the time, but geez, oh man.
7
Come
for
on,
18 on the power play.
That's pretty good.
And
That's pretty good.
Their penalty kill was 12 for 14. That's pretty good, too. That's
So you're bad 5-on-5.
That bad
That's
5-on-5.
That's what that says to me.
I'm going to say Tyson Barrie is their top player. Because, of course, McDavid and Draisaitl was above him.
Yeah, whatever. Everybody knows
Exactly.
that. Everybody knows that.
7 assists for Tyson Barrie.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went 1-2-1 though. I know this is beating a dead horse, but fucking come on, Edmonton.
Come
Jeez, oh,
on.
man. Oh God.
Greenway was caught on a hot mic telling Darnell Nurse that he gets paid $9 million and he doesn't do shit.
I forgot about that. It's so funny. It's such a funny. You make $9 million, and you don't do shit.
And that's Greenway telling you that.
And he's right. And I'm sorry. It's I think $9.5 million.
Yeah. Yes. No, he put the exact number down for that chirp.
Man, he is correct in that chirp.
So yeah, that's Edmonton.
I remember. Do you remember at the beginning of the season we were talking about all these contracts, or maybe it was last season that Darnell Nurse got that contract?
It was last season.
But we were
yeah.
talking about he got that contract, Fox got that contract, and I think Heiskanen got a similar contract too.
Yes.
And we were like, all of those make sense except for Darnell Nurse. He does not deserve that amount of money. And he's a fine defenseman. If you minus $2 or $3 million off of
It's
that,
a
you'd be
perfect
like, that's
contract.
fine.
Yeah,
that's
100%.
fine. That's fine. But 9?
No.
No.
All right, Seattle, 0-2 this week.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah, they've lost. Sorry, they haven't lost 5 straight. They're 1-5 in their last 6. They are kind of nosediving right now.
Yeah, they're coming back to earth.
Because they are 16, 10, and 3.
Let's look at
They
the
are third in
standings.
the division.
Okay, that's not that bad.
They lost to Tampa Bay. Vasilevsky did great for them.
They're tied with Edmonton. Well, I'm sorry. Oh, Vasilevsky didn't do very good with them, yeah.
No, Vasilevsky did great for them, but they still lost 2-6 for some reason. Because I'm an idiot.
It's okay. Dude, I transpose scores all the time.
I just transposed goalies.
That's a weirder mistake, certainly.
And then they lost to Carolina, like you said. That was a very close game. Grubauer, 36 for 39. Like you mentioned, they were outshot in that Carolina game, 17 for 39.
Yeah. They only had But they almost tied that game.
They almost tied it.
They were down 3-0, I think, in the third period, and they almost came back to tie the game.
I do not have much. Don't have much for Seattle because
it's
only
0-2.
2 games.
They only played 2 games. Yeah.
Los Angeles is second in the division now.
Yes, they are.
2-1 this week too.
It's so weird because I keep thinking like Los Angeles is bad, and they're second in the division, and they're like not that bad.
They keep winning because they're 17, 12, and 5.
Good for them.
Yes. So their 2 wins were shootouts
That's fine.
against Boston and San Jose, but they had to start the week by getting their poop pushed in by Buffalo.
Yeah.
Phoenix Copley played all 3 games.
What? He's on LA?
He's on LA.
I had no idea he was on LA.
He's been their backup since Pedersen got waived.
I forgot about that. Actually, I think that one is Peterson.
No, you are right.
Yeah.
It is Peterson.
There's so many guys that are
He's
either Pedersen or Peterson.
He's
only.
Canadian.
Yeah, that's
he's
Peterson. Yeah.
Well,
Even along those same lines, Elias Pettersson on Vancouver is Pettersson, and then Marcus Peterson is on Pittsburgh, and he's Peterson, and they're both from Sweden.
Well, Pedersen is spelled with two T's and 2 S's.
I think Peter. You said Peterson is 2 T's.
Pedersen.
Hold on,
Elias
I gotta
Pettersson is
look it up.
Petterson.
I'm gonna say it's 1 S for the Pittsburgh defenseman. Hold on, I'll look it up.
Copley played all 3 games, like I said.
I had no idea he was on LA.
I'm going back last.
Honestly, if you had asked me, I'd be like, he's probably still on Washington.
He got traded last year. He was on.
Did he?
He was on San Jose.
Oh my!
Not San Jose.
I feel bad.
St.
He's
Louis.
just like one of those players that I'm like, where is he?
He keeps going back and forth between St.
Yeah.
Louis and Washington. But now he is on. He got his first win for LA against Ottawa on the 6th of December, I believe. Let me double check that.
No, it is 2 S's for Marcus Peterson. I think it's Peterson. Double T, double S. Maybe it's Pedersen for him too.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
That's crazy.
He got his first win in his first start for LA on the 6th of December. Copley did.
Wow.
He played all 3 games this week.
That's nuts.
2 wins.
Hey, he got 2 wins.
He got 2 wins.
Hey, good for him.
Beating Boston in the shootout. Kempe got 2 goals. And then beating San Jose in the shootout. Anderson Dolan got a goal.
Who?
Exactly.
There's so many times I'm like, who is that just scored?
Dano got a goal. And Anderson...
You said his name right.
I know, it's taken 2 years. Dano got one of the goals in the 3-2 shootout. And then Anderson Dolan got the
Good for him.
other goal.
Good for him.
Yes.
Actually, now that you say it again, I'm like, oh, I have heard that name before.
10-for-15 on the power play. Penalty kill.
I was about to be like, that's an insane power play.
No. 10 for 15 on the penalty kill.
That's not a good penalty kill. No.
They don't have a top player.
I have a team that had a couple of wins. Oh yeah, I have a team that had a couple of wins.
Because you only scored 4 goals in 3 games.
They won. Doesn't matter.
And got shut out 6-0. So
In the third period.
You don't get a top player for that.
Yeah.
And finishing off the Pacific with Vegas. Man, we really went on tangents this one.
I mean, we just talked about Vancouver for a while.
And just other stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm 2.5 beers deep. So
I'm 2 beers.
I can talk for a while.
Both are
so.
7. Both of these beers are 7% in some capacity. It's
Yeah.
great. All right, Vegas
This is what you guys listen for, is to us go on drunken tangents.
rambles,
Yeah.
buzzed rambles with pucks.
With
Buzz
pie.
pucks. All right.
We have a whole nother division to get to. Talk about Vegas.
2-1 this week. Top of the division.
Let me just say, I love everybody that listens to this podcast.
And I apologize deeply.
I don't.
22.
Because you're just listening to all the conversations about hockey I'm having in my head. Now you guys have to listen to them.
Yep. 22, 10, and 1 on the season. Oh, shoot.
Stop shaking the table.
I got the restless leg.
We're not even at our holiday party.
They start the week beating Winnipeg 6-5.
Yeah.
Then they stomp Chicago, as they should,
Yeah.
4-1.
Chicago sucks.
And they lost to the Islanders 2-5.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
5 for 7 on the power play.
Oh my God. Jeez, oh man. How many of those were against Chicago?
One,
I meant
one
to-
for one.
Oh, I haven't talked about Chicago yet. Yeah.
1 for 1 against Chicago. Then they were 2 for 3 against Winnipeg, and then 2 for 3 against the Islanders.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Well, I mean, those 2 goals, power play goals, were their only goals against the Islanders.
That's true.
Um,
But it was still 2 power play goals.
Riley Smith
Beat them statistically.
Riley Smith is their top player overall with
Look at
4
him.
goals and 2 assists. He had 2 goals in the Chicago game and both goals in the Islanders game. Marchessault had 2 goals in the Winnipeg win.
It's so funny to say Marchessault's name because it sounds like you're slurring.
Yes.
Oh, there's my dog. She was in the chair the whole time.
The Islanders game is the one game that I noted that a team was playing the reverse retros with Vegas. Looking at it, they've lost every single game where they've used their reverse retros.
Quote unquote retros.
Look,
They've only existed for, what, 4 years?
their jerseys are great.
I don't agree. I don't love their jerseys.
They glow in the dark and under black
The
light.
reverse ones I like. Their normal jerseys, I'm like.
Oh, I'm only talking about the
Oh,
reverse
okay,
ones. I don't-
okay, then
no,
fine.
I'm not a fan of those grays and.
Okay, I'm
yeah.
sorry. I misunderstood what you were saying.
If they had those reverse retros,
The fact that they glow in the dark is so cool.
glow in the dark and under black light differently.
That's so awesome.
It's so
It's really,
cool.
really cool. And I'm just going to say it. All other NHL teams do that for your like third jerseys and then just play in the dark.
And it sucks.
Just play under black light for the entire game.
And you have the puck glow under black light.
Yeah. Oh, they could paint the pucks.
It's like Fox with the blue puck.
Yeah, it would be
glow puck?
it would be so weird to watch, but it would be cool.
Bring the glow puck back.
Don't bring the glow puck back.
All right.
With the shadow on it, with that weird big ass shadow on it. Yeah.
It's unfortunate they've lost every single game where they've had their reverse
Yeah, because
retros on.
those I forgot they glowed in the dark.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool.
That's pretty
You're
dope.
right. That is
Yeah.
pretty cool. Yeah.
It's the most Vegas thing, and they do it great.
I love that Vegas as a hockey team has just
Embraces the Vegas.
embraced Vegas, and they're like, this is gonna be a show every single game. We're gonna have some weird lead in to
Yep.
every game.
It's going to be like Lord of the Rings before every
I
single
love
game.
it. I love
Sorry.
the.
Lord of the Rings was wrong. Medieval times.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, it's
every-
yes, it's definitely more medieval times. I love. I just love the pageantry
It's great.
that they put into every game. I love it because it's very Vegas.
When
As
they
a guy
had-
who went to Vegas and was like, "There's way too much money being spent here right now."
Oh yeah, same way. It was
awesome,
awesome. When they used the reverse retros the first time, and they had Logan Thompson coming through the tunnel under the black light,
Yeah,
looking like
it
the
was so
Predator.
cool. Yeah.
It was amazing. All right, news and injuries.
News.
All right, starting with Anaheim, Stolarz,
Yeah.
IR, lower body, indefinitely.
Oh.
Gibson is day to day. The other goalie,
Yeah, that sucks.
day to day.
That's why Dostal has been playing like 2 games
left
this week.
early on the game against Toronto, I think. And then Max Jones, day to day, with an upper body, but he has missed the last 3 games. Not good for them. For Calgary, Chris Tanev,
Yep.
day to day, missed the last 2.
Okay.
Head injury. He took a shot to the head.
Oh, okay. Ooh.
Yeah, it was ugly. He was out before he hit the ground.
Yeah, he probably has some swelling
Yes.
going on too.
So he is only listed as day to day, but who knows if he's on the they move him to the IR later.
He could be moved to the IR. Head injuries are nothing to trifle with.
Again, he took a puck. he took a shot to the back of the head. He was very much unconscious before he hit the ground. It was a pretty scary incident. Moving on to Edmonton. I hope he's okay. Moving on to Edmonton.
Yeah, of course we hope he's okay.
Broberg on defense is day-to-day with an undisclosed injury. For San Jose,
young defenseman, too.
Yeah.
I think he's only 20 or 21.
For San Jose, Kunin is out for the next couple of games with undisclosed injury as well. To Seattle, Justin Schultz is day-to-day going forward.
No, not Justin Schultz.
He's missed the last 2 games due to that boarding by Florida. It's an upper body.
Right.
He's out.
Right.
That there was no supplemental defense for Lundberg.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Wheel of discipline.
He's missed the last 2 games, day-to-day going forward, upper body, it's his face. And for Vancouver, both Pedersen and Besser are out with non-COVID illnesses.
Oh, right. I saw that. Yeah.
Besser's missed the last 2 games.
Excuse me.
Um,
Must have the flu or something.
Right. Pedersen, they both missed the Winnipeg game. Besser missed the game before that as well. So they're out for further notice due to this illness.
Yeah.
For,
Some sort of illness.
For Vegas, flu sucks.
It does.
Christ.
Yeah, the flu sucks. Everybody forgot.
Kicked my butt.
Everybody was all worried about COVID, and they forgot about the flu. The flu also really sucks if you get it bad.
Flu sucks. Pneumonia's been going around this year, too.
What the fuck? Everybody wear your masks again. Remember for like a couple of years, everybody was like, I didn't get sick. That's crazy. I was like, it's because you're wearing masks.
Yeah. A couple strains of flu went extinct.
Yeah.
It's awesome. All right. For Vegas, White Cloud is on the IR for an undisclosed injury.
For like 1 second, I thought you were going to be like, White Cloud just has a sick name.
He does. He really does. IR for an undisclosed injury. He's expected to be out 2 to 4 weeks.
Ooh.
Eichel is on the IR as well. Expected 1 to 2 weeks.
Okay, that's
so,
not that bad.
Not crazy.
Okay, that's not bad.
And Cotter is day-to-day with an upper body. Not really known.
Mr. Cotter.
Mr. Cotter.
Mr. Cotter.
That's all I got.
When he comes back, we can say, welcome back. Like, welcome back, Cotter.
No,
My mom will laugh at that one.
I know. I got it. I'm not laughing.
All right, let's talk about the Central Division. Shut up, Clay. Stop making welcome back, Cotter jokes. What are you, 60?
Yeah, I threw a bottle cap at your head. So what?
Let's talk about the Central Division. Arizona went 1-2 this week.
Yeah, they did.
Losing to San Jose 3-2, beating the Islanders 5-4, where Clayton Keller had 2 goals, one off somebody's balls.
I was about to ask, did you see?
No, I didn't watch it, but you told me about it.
Dude.
I gotta watch the highlight.
Dude.
Who's
Alexei Romanov?
Alexei Romanov, that's who it was, yeah. He banked that off Alexei Romanov's nuts.
Yes, he did.
Into the goal.
And
Poor
Romanov
Romanov.
ragdolled immediately.
I gotta watch that highlight.
All
That's really
the life
funny.
left his body.
Poor Romanov.
That shot wasn't even going on net.
But his nuts put it on net.
His nuts put it on net.
Nick Schmaltz had 3 assists in this game. Well, Jake Chychrun, who has been great since coming back from injury, had 2 assists in this game. Arizona then got kind of stomped by Buffalo 5-2. They were outshot 43-21 in this game.
Buffalo's feeling himself again.
Yeah, Nick Schmaltz, their top player, with 4 assists this week.
Man.
Chicago.
Yes, Chicago.
Is terrible. 0-3 this week. They lost to Washington 7-3, where they were 0-1 on the penalty kill.
Yep.
They lost to Vegas 4-1 this week, where they were 0-1 on the penalty kill. And they lost to Minnesota 4-1, where they lit up 4 goals on 22 shots.
Wow.
A very low shot game, that Minnesota game. They were 1-4 on the penalty kill this week.
Oof.
Chicago sucks this year. Yeah, they're really bad.
I mean-
I'm interested to see what happens with the players that are on Chicago leading into the
Trade deadline?
Trade deadline, which is March 3rd. In case you guys didn't know,
I didn't know.
Specifically, Patrick Kane.
Mm-hmm.
He has a full no trade clause, so he might just not be traded.
He has to waive it.
We'll see. I don't think anybody's going to trade for Jonathan Tays. Each one of them are in the last year of their, last year of their $10.5 million contracts. For Patrick Kane, that's not that big of a deal. For Tays, cap-wise, that's sort of a big deal. Tays has been okay this year.
But he's not worth 10.5.
Somebody might
offer. At this point.
Somebody might make an offer for Kane. I could see that, certainly. But
I can see
Tays,
a bunch of teams making that offer.
Yeah, it just depends on if he wants to go to that team. Tays, less so.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I could be wrong. They don't get a top player. Chicago sucks.
Yeah.
Colorado went 2-1 this week. They beat Philadelphia, as they should, 3-2 to begin the week. JT Compher had a goal and an assist, while Lakeinen also had a goal and an assist in that game. They then lost to Buffalo 4-2.
Yep.
They outshot Buffalo 41-21 in that game. Nichushkin did have 2 assists, silver lining in that game, and then they finished off the week by beating Nashville 3-1. Goal and an assist for Cale Makar in that game.
Beating your division rival like you should.
Always should, yeah. They don't get a top player, though, because it was kind of spread out for the most part. Colorado's still dealing with tons of injuries to especially their top 6 forwards right now. But, hey, they're still keeping their heads above water currently.
Yeah.
Dallas went 2-1 this week, losing a very tightly contested game to Pittsburgh to begin the week, beating New Jersey 4-1. Where pretty spread out scoring in that game. But, hey, Wedgwood, their backup goalie, went 35 of 36 in that game.
Former New Jersey goalie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he was. He
Dallas
played like crap in New Jersey.
Yes, he did. Dallas then followed that game up by beating Washington 2-1 in a pretty tight game as well. Washington outshot Dallas 46-26 in that game. Colin Miller had the game-winning goal for Dallas in that game. And then
they scored those 2 goals in so Washington was up 1-0. They scored those 2 goals in like a minute span, and then
that was it.
Rode Ottinger for the rest of the time.
Ottinger the rest of the game. They finished off their week by losing to Carolina in overtime 5-4. I mentioned this game previously, but Dallas was 2 for 5 on the penalty or on the power play, and 2 for 4 on the penalty kill in that game. Robertson had 3 assists in that game, while Heiskanen had 2 assists in that game.
Good.
Ottinger is their top player, even though he went 1-1 this week with a 151 goals against and a 958 save percentage. Still had a pretty good week.
Yeah.
Minnesota went 3-0 this week. Minnesota's back, baby. They beat Edmonton 2-1 to begin the week. I believe it's Matthew Boldy.
Sure.
Boldy had a goal and an assist, while Fleury made 20 of 21 saves in that game.
Good.
Minnesota then beat Detroit 4-1, where it's a very low shooting game. They outshot Detroit 22-17. Only 39 shots on goal in this game. Frederick Grudeau, no relation to Johnny.
Freddie
Hockey had 2 goals in this game. Minnesota then finished off their week by beating Chicago 4-1, as I already mentioned. Zuccarello had a hat trick plus an assist in this game.
Wow.
Kaprizov had a goal and 2 assists in this game. And Sam Steele, in case you forgot, he is on Minnesota, had 2 assists in this game. Zuccarello, 4 goals, 2 assists, is one of their top players this week. And their goalies just kind of in general are the other one, because they were 3-0, obviously, with a 1 goals against average and a 951 save percentage between the 2 of them.
They were playing bad for a stretch, so it's good to see them both. They were both playing bad.
Fleury and Gustafsson in question. Between the 2 of them, they had a fantastic week.
Good for them. They're both turning it around.
Let's talk about a team that did not have a fantastic week. The Nashville Predators. 0-2-2 this week.
At least you got 2 points.
At least they got 2 points out. They started the week by losing to St. Louis 1-0 in overtime.
Oh,
That's a heartbreaking
what
game.
a game!
Heartbreaking game. I believe I watched the overtime of this one too, because I think it was on the same night as a Penguin game. Penguin game ended, and then I was flipping through the overtimes. One of them was the Rangers one, and this one was the other one.
Yeah.
And heartbreaking loss in overtime. They then lost to Edmonton 6-3, as one does. They were 0-2 on the penalty kill in this game.
Yep.
Roman Josi did have 2 assists in that game, though. So
He's trying.
He's trying. Your captain is trying. You can't take that away from him. They lost to Winnipeg 2-1 in overtime, where Winnipeg outshot them 41-26. So kudos, you kept that game closer than maybe it should have been.
Winnipeg
is on fire.
Yeah.
And then they ended the week in a game that I already mentioned, where they lost 3-1 to Colorado. Just to give a little bit of credit to UC Saros, he was 27 of 29 in that game. The third goal was an empty net goal.
Gotcha.
So that game was a bit closer than maybe it
Nashville's keeping it close. That's good.
Yeah, Nashville's just that team that's like they have a couple good weeks, they have a couple bad weeks, they have a couple good weeks, like they have been the last few years.
And they'll make the playoffs.
And they'll end up making the playoffs and lose in the first round.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of Nashville's MO, except for that one year they made the run to the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah.
And
well, because there was like 2 teams in the West that absolutely murdered each other.
That's true.
Yeah. And then Nashville's just like, oh, so what's
like,
up?
oh, I guess we'll just play the Penguins and lose.
Yeah.
So, that's just kind of Nashville's MO the last 15 years to be good enough to make the playoffs and then kind of lose in the first or second round.
I mean, it works for Toronto and Capitals.
That's true. And works for Pittsburgh, too.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh is like, we can make the playoffs and then lose. So, it's just one of that
it
group
works for
of
some
teams.
teams.
There's a handful of teams that's like, that's just kind of their MO.
Yep.
It's like they look pretty good. They look okay in the regular season, and then they lose in the first round. Let's talk about St. Louis, though. 3-0 this week. They beat Nashville in overtime 1-0, as I just mentioned. Braden Shen had the overtime game winner in that one. Bennington made 25 saves in the shutout. They then beat Edmonton 4-3 in a shootout. Jordan Kyrou had a goal and 2 assists in that game, and he also had the only shootout goal between the two teams.
It doesn't matter.
So it won the shootout for St. Louis. And then St. Louis beat Calgary 5-2, where they were outshot by Calgary 43-24.
Yeah, I forgot to write that down.
Yikes.
I saw it, but I forgot to write that down.
5 goals let up by Calgary on 24 shots. Shannon Thomas each had 2 assists in this game. Kyrou 2 goals. Buchnevich and Barbashev each had a goal and an assist. And Jordan Kyrou is their top player of the week with 3 goals and 3 assists.
Go for him.
He is a fine young player. And let's finish off all of this sort of rambling episode where we talked about Vancouver for probably far too long.
I got one more rambling question after you're done.
Okay, that's fine. Let's talk about the Winnipeg Jets, who I didn't write it down, but they went 2-1 this week. Losing to Vegas 6-5, as Clay already mentioned. They were 1 for 3 on the penalty kill in that game. Scheifele had a hat trick in that game, but they still lost. And Brendan Dillon had 2 assists. Look at him. They then beat Nashville in overtime, as I already mentioned, where they outshot Nashville 41-26. Kyle Connor had the overtime game winner and an assist in that game. Connor Hellebuyck, 25 of 26. Then they beat Vancouver, as Clay already mentioned, 5-1. Dubois, 3 assists. Kyle Connor and Sam Gagner, yes, he's still in the league, had a goal and an assist in that game.
Oh, I think for the Canes, someone just scored on all 32 teams. Or
I don't remember who it
all
was.
the other teams.
That's awesome. That's a cool stat.
Only a few guys have done it.
Yeah, it's a cool stat, though. Kyle Connor is Winnipeg's top player this week with 2 goals and 3 assists. There's no real news about the Central Division this week. No injuries, thankfully. That's always nice to see.
All right, so we saw Ovechkin hit 800.
Yes.
Do you think we see 800 in anyone who's playing now? or do you think the next person to hit 800 has been born yet?
The only player I could see hitting 800 is maybe McDavid. Maybe.
You see, I would add Matthews.
Okay. Maybe McDavid or Matthews. Maybe. I'm not saying definitely.
They have to play this level until they're 30. Like,
They might.
upper 30s.
And they might.
So, yeah.
So, I don't know. You know what? Crosby is nowhere close to 800, but I don't know where he is career-wise. But let's look it up really quick. Crosby himself may... I don't know where he is.
I don't think he's hit 700 yet.
I don't think he has. I don't know that he's hit 600, actually, now that I think about it. So I'm going to say maybe Crosby... Or, no, I'm sorry. Maybe McDavid or Matthews. Maybe. I think McDavid will... I think McDavid will probably, barring injuries, maybe certainly a first ballot Hall of Famer eventually.
Yeah.
Matthews, I think, could possibly be. Oh yeah, Crosby has 534.
Yeah.
Matthews, I think, could probably be the best American player to ever play.
But I'm just talking strictly 800 goals.
Strictly 800 goals.
But because again, Matthews and McDavid are on another level when it comes to a lot of these guys. I was thinking Robertson, but then I saw his age and it's just like no.
Yeah.
Because he's like 23.
He's gonna have to start picking it up. If that's the case, I mean, he's on pace for like 60 goals or something this year.
Right.
But who knows if he actually hits that?
Those
would be my guesses. As far as are they born yet, I have no idea.
Yeah. Well, because we see Alex Ovechkin hit.
But Alex
800.
Ovechkin has been a dynamite goal scorer from the jump.
Exactly.
From the first game that he was in the league.
He scored a hat trick with his first goal.
Yeah.
But we saw Alex Ovechkin hit 800 goals. We saw Albert Pujols hit 700 home runs this year, which
that's crazy too.
There's nobody in the league right now who is anywhere close to that, and we don't think so.
Yeah,
so we might not see
anybody
700 home runs for a long time. It might be a long time till we see 800.
I think it'll be a long time. I think and hope that Ovechkin will break the record because I want to see it happen.
I want to see him hit 900.
It wouldn't be if he breaks the record. It would only be 5 more to 900, and I think he can do it. I think Ovechkin is the greatest pure goal scorer that has ever played in the league, especially because he's played in. I would say he's played in 2 eras of the NHL now, because he played in the tail end of the dead puck era.
Yes,
but he still scored 60 or 70 goals in that era.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, there was like halfway through his career, people were like, okay, he fell off. But like as he has been in his mid to late 30s, he's just surged back to being like, oh, I'm the best goal scorer.
He had one 30-goal season. Yeah. That was a 82-year-old, 82 game season, but then that was it.
That was it. So like, I don't think it's going to be a while before we see Alex Ovechkin's like in the league again. I really do think that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really it. I can't predict the future, but maybe Connor Bedard will break the goal record, like next year or something, and he'll have 95 goals in a season or something like that. Or maybe not. Probably not.
We'll see.
But we'll see. I think it's a good question to like ponder.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's look at just before we sign off. Let's look at what are McDavid and Matthews at career-wise, right? They're probably at like
career-wise
between 1 and 200, right?
I think Matthews hit 200 recently. If he hasn't already, he's close.
Come on, NHL.com. Jeez, oh man. NHL.com is like not good at all. Okay, there's Connor McDavid. Let's look at him first. No, I want to look at him. And then where's Matthews? Sorry, I know this is really interesting to listen to us look up statistics, right?
Yep.
You guys love it. Well, let's look at McDavid really quick. He has 267 goals already on his career, and he is 25.
That's honestly more than I expected.
So that's...
Because
he's been playing since he's 18, so that's what? That's 7-ish years that he's been playing. That's right around 40 goals a year.
Yeah.
A little bit. Well, let's just say he reaches 280 by the end of the year.
Oh, yeah.
That's only 23 more goals. I'm sure he'll hit that.
He might hit that.
So that's 40 goals a season. How many years would that take to get hit? Let's just say 900. That would be... It would take 20 years to hit 800.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know that he has that much in him. No. Well, I don't know. He's only 25. That would be 13 more years. He could play that long.
Yeah, he could.
But does he keep up the torrid pace that he's at? Don't know. Where is that boy Matthews?
Right there, 15.
Thank you. Let's look at Matthews really quick. That mustache. Oh, my God. He's at 219. He is also 25. So him probably not.
No, he's at 275.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at his assists.
He's almost at he's going to hit 300 goals by the end
Okay,
of the
so
year.
he has more goals than McDavid. I didn't even realize that. Maybe Matthews. Maybe. So if he hits 300 by the end of the year, that would be, out of 7 years, that would be like 45-ish goals a year.
Yeah.
That would be, yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
He could do it. It's going to be one of those two if it's anybody that's playing right now.
And I'm not saying beat Ovechkin or Gretzky. I'm just saying hit 800.
If it's anybody right now, it's either Matthews or McDavid, and I don't know that they hit that mark.
Yeah,
but
it'll be hard.
It'll be difficult. But hey, Matthews just scored 60 last year, so we know he has it in him. McDavid, I would guess, has it in him too. He's not hit like 60. He's topped out at like between 40 and 50, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think he's probably hit 50. I don't remember. But one of those two is who I would guess. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll
see. We'll see.
We'll watch their careers with
bated breath. And we'll be here the whole time telling you about it. The entire time.
One of us might be dead before then.
Well, I'll honor you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. As always, sorry for all the rambling in this episode, but we're 2 to 3 7% beers deep, and I haven't eaten dinner yet, so that
me neither. These beers are nice.
Account for a lot. Thank you guys for listening. As always, we can be found wherever podcasts are found. Give us a like, subscribe, rate, review, subscribe wherever applicable. What? Oh, okay. We'll do it at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys for listening as always, and we will be back next week at the same puck time.
Same puck place.
Bye-bye.